for him, and he'd be up late or up early messaging me, seeing how things were.
Right on.
So you mentioned you had a Bantam Double A win. It was the Spud in 2016. How was that experience?
The Bam Double A win was it was the provincials that we won, but when I was Bantam Triple A the following year, that's when we won the Spud. And we a lot of us on the team we were all in grade 9, and there's a grade 9 French trip, and we all went to Quebec. So there's a lot of us that were traveled all week and then traveled all night on the bus, got back home after a week long of traveling and doing whatever, and basically went straight to the rink to start the tournament. And it was a bagger. I remember going to the first game just like feeling like I had no legs. Went home after that, slept for 20 minutes and was up going to the next game. It's just like that was the whole weekend. Just go home, little nap, go to the rink, and we did really good and ended up winning in double overtime or something, which was awesome.
And speaking of like playing like when you were younger and stuff, what was it like your experience playing with the Taco Boys? You played there like a couple years, so what was your experience
Yeah,
like there?
I played there 2 years, my first and second year midget, and that was awesome. We had like such a good group of guys, and kind of the motor around the Taco Boys was like it was our thing. We were the Taco Boys, and we just had a lot of fun, and everybody cared. Everybody loved playing, and yeah, we just had a really good team, bunch of good boys there.
Oh yeah.
So I believe it was your final year of of midget. You played with the Major Midget Pride. What was that like?
That wasn't too bad. I played 13 games before going up and playing the rest of the year with the Metros, but I definitely made some good buddies there, and I got some experience that I probably needed going forward. Just kind of playing at that high caliber kind of league. It's very skilled, and I'm not so much a skilled guy. I kind of play the gritty way and just kind of do that. And I don't think that team was kind of looking for that, so I didn't really fit in well there. So I got out of there and went to junior and started playing my way, kind of the grittiness, and they loved it there. So I was welcomed in there. Awesome. Like the Metros took me in as an underage player, and uh, just like yeah, as soon as I had my first fight, within like I think I fought in the first like 5 games I was up there playing like with them officially with the visor on, and after the first fight, it was pretty electric. I would say it was awesome. There was a different vibe through everything, and kind of I got a lot closer with all the boys after that.
That's wicked, man. And you were up there for so ever since that year all the way till basically next year. So like, what was your,
Yeah.
I guess, career with the Metros like? How can you describe it?
Uh, a lot of fights was the first few years with the visors. I think I had like nine fights or something my first 2 years, which was it was kind of my role. I was the third line, fourth line guy, whatever you want to call it, and my coach really just kind of let me do my thing and agitate players, get people going, and stick up for my teammates was the biggest thing. And yeah, just whatever they needed me to do, I was out there doing it. Whether it's say, hey, listen, like go make that guy's night horrible. That was my role that night, and I went out and did my best to make their night horrible. So that was the first 2 years. Third year was a little bit different. I think we had a coaching change, like our assistant coach became our head coach, and so it was like a different vibe, but it was still awesome. I think I got some chances at like first or second line a couple of times and just had a good year. But then I think, if I remember correctly, like COVID would have ruined that one that year. We didn't get to play playoffs that year. Uh, Maybe we might not have had a coaching change that year, but we had a coaching change, and then we made that big trade, not this past season, but the season before, and got Nick Steele, Dawson Palmer, and Jason Poley. And that's kind of when I went from being the fourth line guy to getting chance at big minutes with them because I played with them in midget. So I had lots of experience in chemistry with them, and that's when I started like playing really good and kind of playing like I did in midget with those guys, like just ripping it up. And then unfortunately, I broke my wrist and kind of put an end to that. But yeah, so far in my career at the Metros has been awesome. I loved every minute of it.
Yeah, and like what were you saying about the visors? Like, what was the transition of that year when you guys had to go to cages? Like, was there much of a change there?
Uh, the big like vision wise, it wasn't bad. Like you get used to the like your cage on pretty quick. Um, but the biggest thing was biggest change and like difference that was kind of the younger guys coming into the league weren't so quiet anymore. Like coming as a young guy with visors, you tend to not say much unless you're kind of the guy that is out there to agitate people. But there's a lot more chirping with the visors on because I guess people know that they can't. You can drop your gloves, but you're only going to be punching cages unless you take your helmet off or something. So that's the biggest change. Just more chirping and kind of more stick work than anything. Can't just drop the gloves anymore.
So obviously you have another year with the Metros. So what are you looking forward to next year, and what are your goals for next year?
Goal for next year just be winning the island again and get another crack at the dojo and hopefully win that too. I think we're gonna have another great team. We only have I guess we had quite a few 5 guys leaving, but we're gonna have probably 5 new guys coming in, filling their roles and having a good team. So yeah, just the biggest thing is get back to have another chance at the dojo and hopefully bring that home too.
Yeah. So you guys are losing like next year all the 2000s and
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so
That's the
some
thing, but
key guys there,
yeah,
but it will we'll fill in some spots with the younger guys, and I'm sure there could be some trades happening, whatever, all those things. But yeah, we'll still have a good team, and we're gonna have a good crack at it again. I'd say.
yeah. Because a lot of the junior like that, you get a lot of like the midget AAA guys, and they had an old team this year, like the
Yeah,
attack. So like you guys, I dare say you guys will be pretty good next year again.
yeah, we'll have the attack players and some of the Pono players like Holden
Yeah,
Bradley will be coming up. He played with us
yeah,
basically playoffs and dojo, and he was great to have on the team. Very offensive, so it's good to have.
yeah. What about so obviously next year, last year, like, are you going to stay in the game of hockey for your life? Not really like playing it, maybe even in playing it, but like, what's your future? What are you aiming for?
I'd like to like coach one day, whatever team is kind of available to coach. Maybe someday even the Metros. I'd like to go back there and coach there. But um, I'd say after I finish, I'm just going to be kind of focusing on getting my kind of job and get kind of life started that way before I jump into anything like that. But yeah, definitely coaching is kind of what I want to do, and I'm hopefully going to be a teacher in the next couple of years. So and maybe doing some coaching like school sports and whatever. So definitely whatever kind of coaching is there, I'm going to be doing it.
Right on. So you going to university or whatever for that right now?
Yeah, I'm going into my 4th year at UPEI for English major, history minor, and then this time next year, hopefully, I'll be in the education program to be a teacher, and then go from there.
Right on, man. So back to what you're saying, you were like a big fighter. So did you have any like big idols back in the day who fought, or like who were some of your big motivators?
Uh, Definitely some favorite guys, kind of growing up watching would have been like Colton Orr, kind of Milan Lucic when he was with Boston, and then kind of not in my day, but kind of some old guys I like is Bob Probert and Ty Domi. Those are the kind of guys that I think my first year I always watched like some pump up videos of them, the montages of them fighting, whatever. But yeah, those are the old time guys that I like. And then growing up would have been Colton Orr and Milan Lucic.
So out of all the fights that you've like ever had, could you like describe maybe your biggest one? Who was against like the team and stuff?
Uh, Biggest fight. Um, I don't know. There's been a couple. Like my first one was against a guy I played in midget with. It was just kind of it was almost for fun. We just were like, whatever, let's do it. Did that, but I think that one was just kind of considered big because it was my first one. I'll always remember it. And then I'd say after that, it would have been maybe this year at the start of the year. I fought the guy that hit me and broke my wrist the year before that, and we took our helmets off for that one. So that was a big one there, and he caught me a couple good ones to the face and the head, and that was some hard punches, but yeah, those are kind of the two that are in my mind right now.
Yeah, and this year was it tough or like I guess you would have got to know the other teams a little better without Eastern. Like was it tough playing less teams or what was that like?
Uh, it was kind of tough playing the same teams over and over because it feels like you're just playing a continuous game. So it's a little like monotonous and gets a little boring sometimes, but it's just kind of whether or not you can just dial in and just play the game and try and win. But it was good that we played the away teams too, just kind of
Oh yeah.
freshen things up. So it was good to have that too.
Yeah, and what was that like playing against all these new teams that you like never played against before?
It was pretty good. They were all really good teams. The travel part of things was fun for the boys, just kind of traveling. You felt again like kind of more like a pro going to the game and just having a good time. And I think we won quite a few games over there too, so it was good. It was a lot of fun.
And, like when did that come to an end when like the COVID hit like in December?
Yeah, so like the whole month of November we were going over there like every weekend. I think we were over there in November. So, and then after that, we didn't play them the rest of the year until we were playing some of those teams in the dojo.
Yeah. I guess going back to the dojo, like what was your favorite like game that you played in there? Or like what was your favorite team that you played against or anything like that?
Um, I would say it was the game against Nova Scotia because we went in knowing like we had to win to go to the semifinals the next day, and they were considered the best team there. So all the boys were amped up to play that game, and just like yeah, just playing that one, it was intense the whole game. Like there wasn't a moment where you could like stop and take a breath because it was just go go go, and yeah, just a lot of just one of those games where you're so dialed in you'll do anything to win, and all the boys are blocking shots and making big hits and just making all the right plays, and we were on such a high after that game. Then it was to get the news that we were disqualified after that, just it kind of killed us.
Yeah, and you guys had some gnarly crowds when you're playing over there. So like what was the greatest atmosphere that you ever played in?
Over there, just like in general.
Uh both. Yeah, over there and in general.
Well, over there, I think it was the start of the game against uh, Nova Scotia that it was like a 12 o'clock game or like a 1 o'clock game, and they had a bunch of schools come there, so there's a lot of kids, and they were all yelling, like kind of cheering for everybody, but it was really loud, and then I guess they had to go back to school towards the end of the game, and it's kind of died down for the crowd like loudness, but the game was still really intense, and we kept going and end up winning. But like another, I guess, atmosphere that was crazy would have been my second year midget AAA Taco Boys. I think it was second year. Yeah, second year we were playing Kings County and we went to like double or triple overtime, and there were so many people there. Like in Pono, we were playing in the stadium, and like there wasn't a seat left up in the stands. Like even the standing room up there was like filled. I don't think anyone could move. And then all around the glass, there were like 5 rows of people back. And I remember, I think I may have scored in that game and just went over to like the Zamboni door area and just kind of like looked in the crowd and like kind of celebrated just seeing so many faces